We have a vision to be an international university of choice, anchored in Africa, dynamically shaping the future. Our mission is to inspire our community to transform and serve humanity through innovation and the collaborative pursuit of knowledge. To fully embrace the digital universe which we are beginning to inhabit, this is what we do at the University of Johannesburg. UJ, where the whole is far greater than the sum of its parts.
This next session is on digital scholarship and open access. And the first of our speakers is Dr. Bud Hall, and he is from the University of Victoria and is a co-chair in UNESCO in the community-based research and social responsibilities in higher education. Bud and Louise, I have said earlier that I'm not going to give lengthy bios of the different speakers. These are available for everybody on our website and also on our wonderful conference app, which has been sponsored by Ex Libris. So, Bud, it is over to you, speaking about open science for communities beyond open access. Louise Jones was with us, and she's going to be speaking to us from the Chinese University of Hong Kong, where she is university librarian, and she will be talking about digital scholarship. Louise, thank you so much for joining us. Let's go to the completely other end of the world, to Hong Kong, and join you.
So thank you for inviting me to speak today. I'm going to be quick. I've got 15 minutes, and I'm just going to share the story of digital scholarship at the Chinese University of Hong Kong Library. I've called the presentation "The Library as Provider, Partner and Pioneer." This is a phrase that comes from a Research Libraries UK survey in 2019, and I think it actually encapsulates what we've been trying to do. Okay, so for those of you who've never been to Hong Kong, this is actually our very beautiful campus. Chinese U, we have just over 23,000 students, 11% are doctoral, and we have 1,700 academic staff. We are the only bilingual university in Hong Kong, so we teach in Chinese and in English. We are a comprehensive research university with 4 strategic research themes, and China studies is one of our very strong research areas for our humanities and our social sciences. And it was the focus on China studies that led to our digital scholarship service. So why digital scholarship? I very much like this quotation. It's quite old now, from Kathleen Fitzpatrick, but she's really talking about why humanists who are doing digital work need a digital scholarship service. They need the technical resources. They need access to collaborators. They need access to developers, designers, project managers, and librarians to produce and preserve their digital projects. And really that was the challenge for us, and a rationale for why we needed to develop digital scholarship. I arrived at Chinese U in 2013, and we developed a new strategy, and out of that it was really looking at whether digital scholarship would work at Chinese U Library. We set up a panel of academics and librarians and really did an in-depth study and made a recommendation for a digital scholarship service. We established in 2015 a team, the Digital Initiatives team, to take this forward, and we were fortunate enough, because we had the support of the faculty, to get funding to open a digital scholarship lab. We have held a digital scholarship symposium. We launched a digital repository. We've hosted postdoctoral fellows, and we've had last year another digital scholarship symposium. So it's been quite a long journey. This is not something that happened overnight. So when we think of libraries as providers, we actually provide space in terms of a digital scholarship lab. It's a technology-rich space to support data visualization and the different kinds of software and tools that are needed for research data analysis and processing. So you can see here students using, I think, Google Lens. We have the data visualization wall, and we actually have quite high range computers with quite specialist software. So that's us as a provider of physical space. We're also a provider of the digital repository because data is a prerequisite for digital scholarship. So we have a very strong special collections at Chinese U, a lot of local Hong Kong relevant material. We have been digitizing them, making them available open access. So in 2017, we had 4 collections openly available. We now have 22. These are books, manuscripts, posters, video, audio. And so there's 588 plus digital objects and 7.5 million Chinese character units. And that's really important for our Chinese language and literature department. So the platform is Islandora, it's open source. So the digital repository is key to making digital scholarship happen for us. And we're also a provider in terms of expertise. We've managed to recruit a team of librarians with special interest in this area, and I'll talk more about how we've developed that in a minute. But we really do provide expertise. We, in 2019-20, we held 22 sessions, a program, 12 topics, and 8 customized classes at the requests of academics. And you can see that the topics are wide-ranging. There's, you know, an introduction to GIS, basic introduction to digital humanities, using online text analyzing tools, visualizing relationships with Gephi, introduction to R programming, and a master in data management planning. So there is now a really wide range of workshops that we offer, and we are now offering all of these via Zoom, which is proving very popular. So we're a provider, but I would argue that we're also a partner. We now have a number of active collaborations with our faculty. This has taken time to develop, but we have at least 5 collaborative digital scholarship projects and 5 library projects that we have initiated that are ongoing. And I'll explain why we've done that in a minute. But here are some of the examples. So GIS mapping and archaeology was with a faculty from our Department of Anthropology. Student Study Weekly, the author frequency study was with our Department of Chinese Language and Literature. Chinese Student Weekly is a very important magazine that we've digitized and done analysis on. The Last Generation of Marjie in Hong Kong is an oral history archive that we've worked with our history department. And this is an archive of Cultural Revolution posters that was digitized and made available not simply for research, but actually for teaching. So we're partners for research, but we're also definitely partners for teaching. The library, I would argue, has really developed from being a provider into being a pioneer, working with our faculty. So our images, we've taken them from OCR, basic OCR, and that we're now creating structured data. For example, named entities recognition for Hong Kong authors from our Hong Kong literature collection. The full text is annotated. It can be manually annotated, and it's really used for text mining. And the other area that we're actually really working hard on is visualization. So you can see here, post-bills of Cantonese opera. We have a wonderful Cantonese opera collection, and the post-bills have been digitized, and we've actually done a social network analysis around those post-bills. So this is another of our digitized collections. It's a Chinese musicology collection, and we've produced a visual timeline for it. So we are moving from simply making these images available into really pioneering the digital repository as a test bed. So going from a database to a data portal for our Hong Kong literature, where we have digitized many Hong Kong literature magazines, and then taking that data and linking it and creating Hong Kong writer profile ontology. And we're doing that in partnership with the Department of Chinese Language and Literature. So you can see some of the work that we're doing, the author frequency. If you want to know more about the technology and really expertise behind it, I'm not the person to ask, but I'll give you the contact details of my team. And we are now really trying to work out how we handle those born digital collections. So all of this is available on our web. It's all open access, so please feel free to have a look at it. But you can see a transition from a provider into a partner and into a pioneer. And there have been many challenges along the road. And the real challenge has been to build up this capacity within the library, because to be honest, in Hong Kong, not many librarians have a traditional master's degree in librarianship. They haven't worked in this area before. So we really needed to develop this capacity so that we could engage in meaningful dialogue with our researchers. And we needed to develop skill sets. So, you know, coding for text mining, how do we do named entries extraction and visualization? So there's been a real issue around capacity building. And we have put a lot of emphasis on staff training and development. We actually had a separate part of our budget simply for this team. I said previously that we have projects that we experiment on, and that's really so that the library staff can really experiment and develop the kind of cutting edge skills that they need. We work really closely with our faculty. We have a Department of Information Engineering that we've been working with, and we've worked internationally with, for example, the Centre for Library, so the Council for Library and Information Resources in the USA, who have a wonderful postdoctoral fellowship scheme, and we had the first postdoc fellow outside of the US, and that's been a really important link for us. And then we work, you know, because this is such demanding work, we work with external parties. So, for example, we're partnering with an organisation in Beijing on actually OCR and then auto-punctuation of ancient Buddhist texts. And for the Hong Kong Writers Ontology, we're actually working with a commercial company that was recommended to us via another organisation in Taiwan. And we also, the other challenge is how you, although we have a centralised digital scholarship unit, it's just one model, and they actually have to work very closely with other library units, with the special collections, with our not our faultily, liaison, our faculty liaison, our research services, and our technical services, around our metadata, for example, and also within the library and the university for the IT infrastructure, so building core capacity has been a problem. Our other major challenge has always been sustainability. We took the view that for the first few years, this was an experiment that we needed to see if it would gain traction. And so we started small, but we've made a decision through our strategic planning that we really do want to develop this further. We're committed to it. We have where people have retired, for example, some of our professional staff, we've redesigned the post to build it into the digital scholarship team. So sustainability is challenging in terms of the projects, but in terms of this being a core service that the library needs to offer, my belief is that for a research intensive university with a strong humanities and social science faculty, the library needs to be partnering here. Okay, so 15 minutes is really short time. And as I say, I'm not an expert in this area, but this is my fantastic team. And they would be very happy to talk to you. So if you go to our website and just contact them, we'd really like to hear about your experiences as well. Thank you.
Louise, thank you so much. And that was unbelievably interesting. And especially for myself as somebody who teaches Eastern religion, I have looked at some of the resources that you have and I'm quite blown away.
The University of Johannesburg, the future reimagined.